everyone, my name is Vivek. Today I am going to tell one story. That story heading name is From the Diary of Hannah Friends. In this story, there was one girl, her name was Anne Friend. She had born on 12 June 1929. She, from the childhood, her parents would to celebrate of her birthday party. When she became 13-year-old, in that time, uh, again her parents was celebrating of her birthday party. In that birthday party, among of people, uh, one one had gifted her one diary, and in that diary she started to write of autobiography, and she had kept one name of that diary. That name was Kitty. But she had 30 friends, but all of them there was no any true friend of Anne Frank, and she had told one matter in that diary, that that is that paper has more patience than people, because people cannot bear every type of matter, and paper can bear every type of matter. In her life, he had father, mother, and one sister. Her father name was Otto Frank, and mother name was Ed Hollander Frank, and sister name was Margaret Frank. When her father age was 36-year-old and mother age was 25-year-old, in that time both were married each another, and her sister bear 1926. After bearing of Margot, 3 months later, Anne Frank born on 12 June 1929. When her age has done 4 5 years, then leaving of Margot and Anne Frank, her father taken away of her mother Holland, and Margot and her sister Anne Frank keeping of her grandmother home. And when her parents taken away of her mother, that month was September. After 3 months, also Margot went away Holland, living of Anne Frank in the house of grandmother home. Grandmother was loving so much of Anne Frank, and also Anne Frank was loving so much of grandmother. She lived in the house of grandmother about 2 months, and when become the month of February, then also she went away leaving of grandmother, and she went away Holland. In that time there was celebrating of her sister birthday. After celebrating of her sister birthday, she took admission in one school. That school name was Montessori School. In that school, headmistress was the name of Mrs. Couperas. Mrs. Couperas. In her school, there was 6 class, and when she passed 6 class, then there was celebrating of farewell. In that farewell, among of Couperas and Anne Frank, from the both there had come out tear. That moment was heartbeating moment. When she passed from that school, and when the came season of summer season. In that time, her grandmother fallen ill. Listening of that matter, his whole family, leaving of the Holland, went away. Her grandmother have. Then her parents took admit in the hospital and get operation. But her grandmother become well, but fully doesn't become well. In that time, Anne Frank was birthday was celebrating, and her birthday celebrate very sorrowful. After 1 year ago, after 1 year, when her grandmother passed away, and 1 month after her Anne Frank was birthday, and her family was celebrating, but there was not celebrating with joyful, because the moment was sadness. And when her birthday was celebrating, in that time she burned one candle remembering of her grandmother, remembering of her grandmother. After that, she again took admission in one higher school, and in that school there was 7 teachers, and in that among of teacher there was 5 gents teacher and 2 ladies teacher, and who among of teacher there was one very old type of teacher, and he was teaching math. His name was Mr. Kissing. When he was teaching in the class of Anne Frank, in that time she was chattering most time, looking of Anne Frank activity, looking of her Anne Frank activity, she was telling for you keep silent, you are not doing good while teaching time. So he was giving extra homework of Anne Frank, but he was not improving. One time he gave for writing of one essay about a chatterbox. Then she wrote and she checked out that essay to Mr. Kissing. After next day, she again started to teach up in that class, and again she was started to doing like that, and Mr. Kissing again scolded her. You keep silent. Why are you doing like that? But she was not improving. Then he again gave one extra homework. You write one essay about a chatterbox who can't improve. Then she again wrote and she checked. When the next day became, and Mr. Kissing was teaching next chapter. In that time, she was again started to make a noise while teaching of Mr. Kissing. Every time Mr. Kissing was get understanding of Anne Frank. You keep silent, but Anne Frank was not improving. Then he told, I shall have to give one more extra homework. Then he gave one essay for write about of quack quack quack, but she was not understanding what is quack quack quack. Then beside of Anne Frank there was one girl. Her name was Sani. Then Anne Frank asked to Sani what is quack quack quack. Then he told about of swan you shall have to write essay, because he always used to tell quack quack quack. Then she understood, and also senator Sunny was a poet. He Sunny want to be a poet because he always used to write verse. Then when become the next day, then she wrote and about a quack, and she was writing that I shall have to write about of Mr. Kissing, and I shall have to set on that quack 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 about of Mr. Kissing. Then she wrote there was two swan. One was he and one was she. Who was she? He had 3 4 child, and he, all child was doing quack quack quack. Then who was swan? His swan. He was came in depression. He came in cookman, and he killed of that all child. She wrote like that matter in that essay, and she chat of Mr. Kissing. When Mr. Kissing read of that essay, and she understood, because she was chattering every time, and Mr. Kissing want to kill of Anne Frank. He get understand like that of Mr. Kissing, and also he told in that diary that how my mother DNA has come in my life, so I always used to chatter doing chatting in that class. Thanks.